Hi, and welcome back to the Suburban Chateau. My name is Stephanie Everett, and I'm delighted to bring you day 3 of our 8-day video excursion of the Rhine River. We started out in Zurich, Switzerland, and we're going to end up in Amsterdam in the Netherlands. On day 3, we're going to the Alsace region of France, and this is a huge wine making and growing area of France. And today we're going to go to 2 really special little towns. One is called Colmar, a very ancient small city. And then really close to Colmar is this little tiny town called Eguisheim. And it is an incredible little city, voted one of the most favorite French towns in all of France, I believe in 2017. But it's just this little picture postcard village. It was actually some of the inspiration behind the live action Beauty and the Beast. And if you know anything about me and drama, that Beauty and the Beast is one of my faves. And knowing that they used this little city as some inspiration, I was definitely looking at every building and incredible architecture once again with these medieval homes, and they were all original, just incredible, colorful, and beautiful. So join us on our trip to Colmar and Eguisheim in the Alsace region of France. The picturesque city of Colmar is located in the northeastern section of France known as the Alsatian region. It is the 3rd largest city in that region and is sometimes considered to be the capital of the Alsatian wine region. The city's origins can be traced back to 800 AD, and the post and beam architecture of the city certainly has been preserved since medieval times. It was first declared a city by Emperor Frederick II in 1226. And this little city was bounced back and forth throughout history as part of both the German Empire and as a part of France, as a result of the Franco-Prussian War, World War I, and World War II. It reverted back to a French state following the Second World War. And the city is located just 40 miles south of Strasbourg. Well, Steve and I truly enjoy just sort of exploring the beautiful old town of Colmar in France. I had never seen anything quite like this with the post and beam architecture. And many of these post and beam homes had been painted in bright colors as well. And it was just a gorgeous little area, some beautiful churches in that area as well. And we knew that it was a Sunday when we were there. So many of the shops weren't open. And that made it kind of even better because the streets were open. And some of the streets you could just walk straight down the street and there weren't any people there. And we really got a good look at the town of Colmar. The day we went to Colmar and Eguisheim was the very first day that we were actually on the boat on the Rhine River adventure. So the night before we had gotten on the boat itself. And because the Rhine River had flooded the week we were there, and it was at the highest it could be, we actually had to dock the boat at Strasbourg, which is south, of course, of Colmar. And then we had to drive back to see Colmar and Eguisheim from Strasbourg. So it was kind of a unique experience. We were expecting to be parking the boat really close to Colmar and Eguisheim, but we had to go further north on the Rhine River and then drive back to see these beautiful little towns. So our morning tour of Colmar was starting to wind down. And at the very last second, as we were getting ready to go, we happened to turn and look, and we were able to catch sight of an incredible replica of Herbie the Love Bug. And so I was able just to snap a picture really quickly here of Herbie the Love Bug was in Colmar, and we got to see it. Now, after we left Colmar, we got back on the bus and just went a few miles down the road, about 4 miles, to the incredibly picturesque village of Eguisheim. It is an incredible, teeny tiny, beautiful picture postcard of a town that is surrounded by vineyards that produce some of the most amazing Riesling wines from this region. This village is so picturesque that it is ranked among the top 20 most beautiful villages in France. And in 2013, it was honored with the title of Favorite French Village. And you can just see from the architecture of this village, the beautiful post and beams, the flowers everywhere, geraniums in every window box. It was incredible. And this city is so beautiful that it supposedly was the inspiration for the live action version of Beauty and the Beast. Anybody knows me knows I love theater, and of course I love Disney, and I thought it was pretty cool that we got to see the village that was the inspiration behind one of my favorite films, Beauty and the Beast. Now, we were actually riding on a little electric train that took tours through the different towns. We saw this back in Colmar, and in many of the different cities we visited, we hopped on a little electric train, and it took us to some of the destinations we were going to see. And this little electric train took us all through the downtown region of Eguisheim, and then, of course, up through the vineyards. So straight up through the vineyards to the top of the hill, we could see the ruins in the distance of the Chateau that you saw on the top of the beautiful hill. And it was a really interesting ride and an interesting way to see this beautiful region of France. Now, as I said before, we traveled up through the vineyards and we got to the top of the mountain and we were able to look down, and they stopped the train so we could get off and get some pictures of the valley below. But it was pretty incredible. And I think personally, I didn't realize that Colmar was as close as it was to Eguisheim, but both of those towns were right in view of each other. Now, we were also able to capture a look of the ruins. This is the Chateau of Dagsberg, which is right over the little town. Here is Eguisheim from the top of the mountain. And here's just a quick pic of this electric train that took us up into the vineyards. So we're looking down into the valley, and we are visiting the town of Eguisheim, which is right in front of me. And to the left, a larger town called Colmar, where we came from earlier. Some amazing cities in the Alsace region of France. Well, the day ended with a wine tasting in the middle of almost a little wine village right near Eguisheim. And of course, it was a great way to end the day. And then after that, we got back to our boat. And on day 4, we're going to head to Strasbourg, France. Thanks so much for joining me on day 3 of our Rhine River adventure. And if you have a moment and you could subscribe to my channel, that would really help me out a lot. Thanks again.